G2 family. What's good with you? It's your boy 2A in LA, and as always, fam, anything I say in this episode, prior episodes, and future episodes is just my personal opinion. Don't take it as fact. Don't take it as law. Always do your own homework and come up with your own conclusions. Right about now, fam, I should go ahead and tap that like button for your boy. If you're new to the channel, I want to say welcome. Come on in. You can join the congregation by smashing that subscribe button and requesting all post notifications. And if you are an existing supporter of this channel, fam, I appreciate you more than you can possibly imagine. You are the reason this channel is anything. All right, fam, if you are not an existing member of the 2A in LA fam, hit that join button down below. For a modest fee, you gain access to unreleased content that nobody else can see. You get access to bi-weekly giveaways where we give away some phenomenal things, including some incredible firearms. So make sure you join the 2A in LA fam club. Fam, also, if you hit that QR code, I know you see it, it's right there, it's over in that corner. Hit that QR code, that will take you to the 2A in LA website. There, you get access to our merch store, you get access to discount links, weekly hot deals, all of the above. So make sure you click the QR code, or there'll also be a link down below in the description. All right, that's it. Let's get this episode rolling. All right, fam, let's get this episode rolling. So look, we have a good one. We have a good one. It's funny, when this gun first dropped, obviously it was a covert exclusive early on. And I was aware of the gun. I knew the gun was coming. Normally, you guys know I'm one of the first to pull the trigger on a new firearm, but I hesitated on this. I paused on this because I was aware that there were future iterations that were in the works, and I thought one of those would be better suited for my needs. And so, even though I was aware of the gun, I didn't rush out and buy it. I didn't do a review. As I'm waiting on my gun, I really got the itch to do a review on the original version. I think doing the review on the original version is really going to aid me when mine comes. So I have that data point to compare it to. And also, you guys have been asking me about it, so I thought I'd bring it to you. And of course, I'm talking about the Cardinal Arms G2, fam. This gun is a looker. This gun is a straight looker. Now, when the Cardinal Arms G2 dropped, and it was, you know, in that kind of $5,000 to $6,000 price range, people were like, what? Who the hell is Cardinal Arms? And what, they got some nerve thinking that they're just going to drop a $5,000 to $6,000 2011 and somebody's going, who are these people? It's a fly-by-night company nobody heard of. Are you crazy? And then we found out, fam, that Cardinal Arms is the sister company for Optimum. Now, you may never heard of Cardinal Arms. You may have never even heard of Optimum. But Optimum has been manufacturing 2011s for years. They've been white labeling for some of the most popular 2011 brands out there. And when they're not manufacturing the entire gun, they are certainly manufacturing a lot of the parts that are used in some of the best 2011s out there. So they wanted to do their own thing, and I'm not mad at that one bit. And so they dropped the Cardinal Arms G2, and fam, I gotta tell you, like I said, aesthetically, one of the best looking guns I've seen. Outstanding first offering in terms of aesthetics and design. With the G2, I can tell you that the gun, one of the things that stood out to me right away was how well the gun was machined, how good the trigger was. I was like, oh, okay, this gun If I had to akin it to something, I say this gun is very Fowler-esque. This gun, and there's a lot of Fowler DNA running through the G2. It's very Atlas-esque. Now, this gun is not ported. And you guys know I love ported guns. Almost all of my guns are ported. If I were kind of comparing this gun, if you're looking for the comp, I would say look at the non-ported Fowler. I think that would be a good comparison. As a matter of fact, I think my man Jeff at the Weapon Collective did a comparison between the G2 and the non-ported G2 that you see here, and he has a non-ported Fowler. I think that's a great comp. The other comp I would use is probably like the Atlas Athena. If you're looking for a gun that kind of has a similar fit and finish, a similar feel to it, those would be the two guns that I would say are immediate comps for the Cardinal G2. All right, fam. So like I said, I did my initial impressions video. Today is about the full review. If you haven't seen the 2A NLA review, you can get 0 on the low end. That's hot trash. It's not even worth the metal or polymer, whatever the hell they use to make it, or it's 100, meaning it's the most awesome gun that's ever been created, and it's also highly affordable. I've never had a gun that has a 0. I've never had a gun that has gotten 100. We can always hold out hope. The average score on my scale is probably somewhere between 50 and 60. That's a gun that's very reliable, gonna go bang every time, lacks any real feels or thrills. Think Glock 17 MOS, right? If you got something 60 to 70, that gun maybe has a feature or two that separates it from the normal standard gun, maybe like a Walther PDP or something in that range, right? If you got something that's 70 to 80, okay, now you've got a gun that's more feature rich, has multiple assets to the gun that make it stand out from the crowd. If you got something 80 to 90, now you're in kind of best in class territory. And if you got something that's 90 or above, you're in grail gun territory. All right, fam, first up, let's get into fit and finish. Look, the gun is very, very well done. You got a billeted steel slides, you got a steel frame, aluminum grip. Manufacturing on the gun, like I said, is very, very well done. There is no wiggle, like slide to frame fit, there's no wiggle. Grip to frame fit, no wiggle. Barrel fitment is excellent, super tight. Feels like the gun is on rails. You got a 5-inch bull barrel on the gun, ambi safeties, all the bells and whistles that you would want on a $5,000 to $6,000 gun, that you would expect on a $5,000 to $6,000 gun. Fit and finish, 15 out of a possible 15. Next up, reliability, fam. The gun already had, this was a shop gun given to me by Covert for the purpose of doing this review. I'll be returning it to them when I'm done. Gun probably already had a couple thousand rounds through it. I put a good 1,000 rounds through it. 0 hiccups. 0. And given who the manufacturer is, again, you may not know the Cardinal name, but Optimum has been making guns for a long, long time. I'm not surprised that this gun is highly reliable. Reliability, 15 out of a possible 15. Next up, durability, like I said, steel slide, steel frame, aluminum grip, quality internals, obviously no mint parts anywhere to be found on this gun. If you take care of it, it'll take care of you. Durability, we're going to give it a 15 out of a possible 15. All right, fam. Next up, trigger. Look. Very little take up, clear defined wall, crisp clean break, the reset. Very well done. Very well done. I'm not sure who makes their trigger, whether they make it themselves. It's not a Red Dirt trigger, it's not an Atlas trigger. Maybe it's one of those manufacturers, but they've just changed out the shoe. But it's a very well done trigger. I'm gonna say it feels like a little step below Atlas, a step below Infinity, but still really, really good trigger. We're gonna give it a 14 out of a possible 15. All right, fam, next up, accuracy. Fam, here's what was really surprising to me when I did this review. For a gun that is not ported, for it to be that well balanced, that flat, and that fast was surprising. I'm not gonna lie. I have gotten really spoiled, I think, relative to having guns that have been maximized based on the porting or the compensation of the gun. I thought it would stand out to me that the gun was not ported. In many ways, it reminded me of my Infinity Baby Monster, which is not ported, but was so flat and so smooth, it felt as good, if not better, than some of my ported guns. I felt that way about the Cardinal G2. I think if the gun was ported and compensated, it would be on a whole nother level relative to accuracy. But accuracy, we're gonna give the gun a 9 out of a possible 10. All right, fam, next up, ergonomics. Love this grip. It feels great in the hand. It's tacky without being too aggressive. Really aids you in being able to get onto the gun quickly and fast from a draw position. Should aid very much in giving some very flat, fast split times, especially your first shot. All good from that perspective. Ergonomics, I'm going to give the gun a 10 out of a possible 10. All right, fam, these next two categories, we're going to put them together. Aftermarket support, maintenance and upkeep. Maintenance and upkeep is a 2011. Break it down every 1,000 round, clean it, you won't have any issues. Aftermarket support, more and more companies are coming onto the scene to provide aftermarket support for 2011s, although there's not much of anything you're going to need for this bad boy. We're going to give this a 4 out of 5 for aftermarket support and a 4 out of 5 for maintenance and upkeep. All right, fam, next up, affordability. Look, gotta pay to play. Gotta pay to play. I'll put up the MSRP so you can check it out. It's a pretty penny for these guns, and as future iterations come out, like a ported version, I'm sure is gonna come, maybe even a comp version at some point, those guns I'm sure are probably gonna tick up in price a little bit. So affordability, not cheap. We're gonna give it a 2 out of a possible 5 for affordability. Last but not least, flex. Is Instagram gonna go crazy? Or your boy's gonna be like, yep, 100%. This gun is aesthetically beautiful. I always say, like, you know, Infinity's next level, but like I say, the Fowler is one of those guns that aesthetically got it right. Cardinal Arms got it right. And like I said, a lot of similar DNA in those two guns, so it would make sense. Flex, we're gonna give this gun a 4 out of a possible 5 for flex. All right, fam, if you add all of that up, you get a whopping 92 out of a possible 100. Cardinal Arms has entered Grail gun territory, up there with some of the best guns that I've ever reviewed on my channel, and rightfully so, fam. I'm not exaggerating. This is not hyperbole. It's just a phenomenal gun. Phenomenally made, phenomenal shooter, quality parts. They did it. They did it. All this did was reinforce my decision to get one, but it also made me more anxious to get mine in the collection. But I'm happy I did the review on this one. When I get mine, we'll do a comparison between the two. We're also going to be doing a comparison video of this gun and the Atlas Artemis, which is one of the non-ported guns that I have in my collection. So stay tuned for that. All right, fam, that's it for this episode. Until next time, as always, I want you to take care of one another and peace.